Championship, joined by 2023 champion Lilia Vu. Lilia, let's just go back to your win here a couple years ago. What's it just like to be back, and what do you remember most from your win here?
Yeah, I mean, I would say what I remember the most is Cole's belly flop into the pond. But yeah, I had so much fun during that tournament. I remember, just having so much anxiety on the last day because I wasn't playing really well on the back nine, and it was two sums, couldn't see any leaderboards, didn't know where I stood among the field. So I think I was getting agitated that I wasn't making any birdies, just pars. And I remember on 15 just being really angry that I hit it to like 40 feet. And Cole, my caddy, said to me, like, hey, it's hard for everyone out here. You need to get all of this complaining out of the way, or else I'm not going to give you your putter. And so I remember just being like, okay, whatever. And then we've parred 15, parred 16, somehow ended up making a pretty long birdie putt on 17, and then birdied 18. And at that point, I thought people were going to keep on making birdies because I just didn't really know where the field was at. And so, yeah, I mean, I did what I could by the end of it. I was happy with how I played, and then ended up being clubhouse leader, and then ended up being in a playoff with Angel. So, yeah, that's what I remember from that year.
And then what's it just like to be back? You attended the Champions Dinner last night. We just love to hear what's it like to be back here this year?
Oh, it was so much fun last night. I think it was really good banter between the past champions, legends, and the newer ones. And so I thought it was a great dinner done by Chef Keller and Nelly. He knocked it out the park. They did such a good job with the menu, and I thought it was just a really nice, intimate dinner and something to kickstart the week. I mean, this is basically our master's dinner, so really enjoyed that, enjoyed spending time with everyone, and I played 9 yesterday, and the greens are looking beautiful, so I'm really happy to be back here.
All right, we'll start here with Zach.
Yeah.
Lilia, thinking back to the injury you had, how much of a motivation was it to get back to this tournament specifically?
I would definitely say that it was a motivation, but I think last year I was so much in panic with would I ever play a full golf round again, let alone tournament round, and definitely took 2 months off, and that was probably the hardest 2 months of my life because I love competing and seeing everybody go to the U.S. Open and all the majors after that. And then I was able to be back by KPMG, but, it was a lot of just reevaluating what I had to do with my body and how to get back out here. And so I would say I'm in a much better place than I was last year.
All right, Sarah.
I know it's challenging mentally to get yourself out of your head when you're dealing with some of those challenging times. How would you I don't want to say grade yourself, but how have you managed to just kind of keep things in perspective when things like that challenge you?
I think it teaches you a lot of lessons that I feel like sometimes you need balance in your life a little bit. Like, I think I got caught up with golf being my identity, and during that 2 months I saw a lot of family, I saw a lot of friends, was able to I couldn't hit for a couple weeks, so I was just doing other things, read a lot, listened to audiobooks, just tried my best to just become a better person, because that's all I could improve at that point. Physically, I was trying my best with PT and learning how to breathe correctly and just fixing my posture, the way I sit, just a whole kind of life change, I would say. And I think, everything happens for a reason. And I think that needed to happen so that I could have, more body awareness. I think I was just kind of playing golf mindlessly, and which it does help sometimes when you're playing well, right? You're just not thinking about too much, but it kind of shows that I never really reflected how, when I was playing well, just mindlessly, how to get there again. And now I just definitely have more body awareness and more swing awareness.
I think if you could just speak to the course as well. Obviously, 23 didn't play here in tournament rounds in 24, but it's pretty soft out there with all the rain that they've had, it seems like. I mean, how would you evaluate the golf course at this juncture?
Yeah, I played earlier yesterday morning after the rain, and it was playing long out there. And I think it'll have time to dry out definitely today. I'll play again at 4 later today, so I'll see how the conditions are, but it should play a little bit on the longer side, I think.
All right, to the front. If anyone has a question. Amy?
When you're preparing for a major championship and scoping out a course that obviously you didn't get to play in the championship last year, what are you looking for? What are you kind of taking into account?
I'm not really too much into course management. That's what I have my caddy for, and I fully trust him, and he knows how to guide me around this. And I think we've done pretty well before here, so I just trust him on that front and kind of just try to relax and stay in my lane. I know a lot of people get in like a lot of anticipation that it's major week, but I've said this before, I kind of try to think of it as a regular tournament so that it puts the pressure off. Even, when I've defended a tournament in the past, like when I just not narrow it down and make it smaller, but it kind of takes the pressure off. Like, here's another tournament, here's a place that you can showcase for another chance to win a tournament. And that's kind of how I look at it.
What happened this past year when you had to withdraw from this tournament that made you feel like you could never possibly play again? Like, what was so severe or extreme that went through your mind?
I mean, I was on the range and I couldn't hit the ball past 40 yards. And if I'm not doing that, how would I even finish a round, let alone tee off? And so at that point, that was, you think about different things, like not even defending that tournament. I can't even play one hole. So that was kind of going through my mind. It was a good time to reevaluate everything.
And how did that affect you, having to withdraw from this tournament last year?
Yeah, it affected me deeply. I think, not being able to compete, which is something that I love so much. I think that's why I do it. And I love golf. And when you love your job and you love competing and you're not able to do that and your body's letting you down, it's kind of hard. You feel handicapped. You think, and then after that too was another battle coming back. I feel like I lost a lot of strength, and it almost felt like I had to make up for my game in other parts. Like I relied heavily on my putting or my short game because now I'm hitting maybe one club more than everyone else across the field. And so that was also something that affected me a little bit. So still working through that.
All right, Jill?
Was there something you talk about, like reading books? I don't have a podcast, or is there a phrase or a book that you continually go back to now that you put into practice?
I've read so many books. I think my most favorite one that I'm trying to be better at and listen to it was Be Water, My Friend by Shannon Lee, Bruce Lee's daughter. It kind of talks about, how water, when you hit water, it hits you back. It's very adaptable, and like it could be so beautiful and serene at the same time. Like there could be a storm coming and you can see how destructive it is. So it's kind of, I think what my takeaway from that book is just to be adaptable, and that's what I try to be every single day.
Two rookies have already won on tour this year. If you can go back to your rookie season, I know it didn't come easy to you and you didn't get your first win until later. What do you remember about playing on this tour as a rookie and trying to gain confidence and trying to make sure you're playing your best golf?
I think I came into my rookie year with the wrong lens. I definitely put so much pressure on myself. Every shot I was over was either life or death, and I just mulled over that shot if it was bad or good or whatever. If it was bad, I discredit myself, like I shouldn't be here, and if it was good, I'm like, oh, that's just one shot that was good out of all the bad shots. So I think, my rookie year was so hard on me. I was so beat down. I came from college and amateur golf pretty good. I had a good career there, and then to not perform at the professional level, I think it was really hard. And it lasted over another 2 years also on Epson Tour, and I was ready to not play golf anymore and do something else. But the pandemic hit, and it gave me a lot of time to read books. I met somebody at the course that became my mentor. He gave me books, and that started everything, and we kind of went on this journey to become the best version of myself rather than the best golfer. And I think that really changed everything. It was a 1% better every day. I tried to achieve little small goals that would lead to the bigger goals. And as I stuck to that, I started to win on Epson, and everything just kind of fell into place, and I started to have fun again. And I reflect back to my college career. I had so much fun. I was always around a team, and I was playing good golf because of it. I wasn't having fun because I was playing golf. I was just doing what I was doing, hanging around with my teams and my coaches and traveling across the nation and just having a good time. And so I knew it was, as I was starting to win more tournaments on Epson and find my way back to the LPGA, it was kind of my goal to kind of build that team around me. I really didn't have anything situated. So I would say, yeah, I have the best people around me now.
Think about this year's rookie class. They seem to have obviously a lot of talent, but a lot of confidence too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's amazing to see because sometimes, you know, rookies kind of struggle in their rookie year, like definitely like I did, but to see them coming out here like guns blazing, I know, you know, Rose did that too, just won her first LPGA, and I thought that was amazing, and she's had a great career so far. And yeah, it's been cool to see rookies just come out here and kind of just ready to go. I definitely didn't have that in me, so it's really cool to see.
Right, Beth Ann?
Hi.
Hi.
You had kind of an extended off season in that you didn't start until Thailand. What did you do during that time to get yourself ready and physically, I guess?
Yeah, I think, you know, the previous off season, I just felt like I didn't have time. I just had maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, and then it was time to go again because I hadn't won at that point, and Tournament of Champs wasn't in the cards for me at that point. And then, so I think just with the way the schedule's laid out, I just wanted to give myself a little extra time. I mean, some players don't go to the first part of Asia. Their off season's kind of after drive on until the West Coast swing. And so people kind of plan their off season a little differently. I like going to Asia. I mean, I've done well in Thailand and Singapore, so I usually like to include that in my schedule. And yeah, I did a lot of the same things, just PT, working on my body, working on nutrition. And yeah, I also went to Cole's wedding, so that it was on the week of Tournament Champions, so that was super fun. And yeah.
You mentioning Cole earlier, and you mentioned quite often and how integral he is for you, and the little things that he says and does. How can you put into perspective what he's meant to get you to where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, we're so close. He's like an older brother to me almost, and you know, he sees all of it. He saw me struggle, he saw me win, and he knows how my brain works. And even when I'm freaking out on the course, he just knows what to say. I mean, I think I was freaking out at the Ford Championship on Friday on the range. I just didn't feel like I was hitting it well on the range. And I remember he just saying, like, all you need to do is hit your start lines. I'll take care of everything. And I think that just, like, kind of took the weight off my shoulders and knew that I'm just going to hit wherever he tells me to. And that's all I can do. And that's all he ever wants from me. Just hit our start lines, and then he'll take care of everything. And then once we're in contention on the weekend, and then that's kind of when we shine brightest.
If I could ask just one more, what do you think about when you sit now? You said you think about your posture.
Yeah.
What's your...
Kind of like my
do it
spine, kind of like tall through your head, the back of your neck, all the way down. You're not like slouched. Your back's not arched. You're kind of more in like a stability standpoint. I don't know.
Do you think about that when you walk too?
Oh yeah, 100%. I have a movement guy. His name's John Yamada, and he comes out and then he'll watch. He's like, "Oh, you were out of posture on that shot, and it was the worst shot I hit that day." So it's kind of funny when he can see that, and you know, he can keep me in check after that. And after the round, he'll be like, "Oh, your posture was really good today when you walked," because it all starts from that, right? You start walking sloppy, and then the left side of your back hurts, and then other things happen, leads to other things. So kind of very diligent. It also kind of helps me keep my mind off of golf a little bit, because I don't like to think about a whole lot of golf when I'm out there, just when I get to the ball.
Just one more about that. How long has he been with you, and how often does he come out?
We started working together right after I withdrew from this last year. So the whole entire 2 months that I took off, I was working with him. Yeah, kind of changed my whole perspective on everything on that end. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we'll come back here to Alex.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, Lilia, just looking back on 2023 memories of your win here, is there a specific shot or moment that you might recall or you have recalled getting back here that kind of reminds you that you can get back to the stage and be a major champion again in 2025?
Do you mean like that I played this week?
Yeah, could recently win the win in 2023.
Yeah, I hit the putt that I made during the playoff yesterday, and I remember being like, oh, I know this putt. And so that was kind of a good reminder that I really enjoy this golf course. I love the greens, and I mean, it's so beautiful, and all the people that come out to support. It's just, you know, it feels like a major championship. And whenever you're kind of in that environment, you kind of appreciate your job more, and, you know, you want to do better, and you want to perform your best. Yeah.
All right, we have one more on the Zoom from Art. If you'd like to unmute now, Art, and ask your question. There you go. I see you're unmuted.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, I just want to go back to what you were saying about some of the rookies. You know, obviously Ingrid won last week, and she's a rookie, and some other young players. Do you feel like, you know, there's more and more rookies coming to the forefront? And would it greatly surprise you this week if a rookie was to win this tournament?
I think seeing that all the rookies are so good this year has been a testament to how strong golf is now, not only in, you know, junior golf, college golf, amateur golf. It just, they come out just guns blazing and ready to play. And I feel like that's been a newer thing. And I think, you know, it's great to see that. It pushes our tour and women's golf further. And, you know, this is a long week. And sometimes when you're kind of fearless like that, it helps when you're when they compete in a major. And so, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them definitely were in contention.
And one other question, I know you were out a lot of last year, but you're around the tour a lot and everything. What Nelly did last year was really generational. Win 5 in a row, and, you know, hadn't been done in 20 years, whatever. You know, just really amazing stuff. Now this year, you know, she hasn't won, but she gets questions every week about, you know, why is this year not like last year? Does that strike you as, I don't know if the word is unfair, or does that strike you as just that people are expecting what someone did one year, 5 in a row, to happen every year?
I mean, I would say it's kind of unfair to Nelly to say that. She's won so many times out here. She had a great career she had a great run last year. And, you know, it's also like me. I did really well the previous year and kind of hit a little bump in the road with my back injury. And, I mean, you know, people go through stuff. And I think, I mean, obviously she's still playing really well this year, and she's still the best in the world. And I think it's a little unfair to kind of discredit her this year.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lilia. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.